All right. Welcome to a new week with JD and Len. This is Len. How are you, Len? I just want to point out for 30 minutes now, Len and I have been talking without paying attention to the fact that the recording wasn't even happening. So we had a lot of great content.
We did. It was fucking phenomenal. We'll never be able to repeat it.
It really was.
It was probably our best 30 minutes of all time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That no one will ever hear. And most people don't hear anyway. Which, by the way, since we've already screwed that up, let me just go to this real quick.
We'll just go off bad. Yeah, just go. God.
Well, all right. So we already talked about the World Cup ahead of time. People missed that. But basically, we love the U.S. match. Let me just simplify real quick.
I actually watched it.
Len actually watched. It was fantastic. We're going to probably try and do a live stream of one of the matches, not necessarily U.S., any match in particular, at some point soon on YouTube, so that we can see Len's common knowledge put out there.
No lack of knowledge. No. My education.
That's true. That is true. Your education, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then we also gave our who we thought would win. Like Final Four wise, I said we'll see. It's probably going to be Brazil and France, England, and then for fun, U.S. Although if it's not U.S., it's probably realistically would be Spain or the top four, I think. And Len, who's your winner?
I said U.S. just because I'm dumb.
Which is fine.
I'm just being biased. But everybody, like we said, everybody is always going to have elevate their team by at least, by a little bit. So I'm doing it by a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and like I said, they actually looked very solid yesterday. So there's a little bit of hope. Although one thing we didn't talk about is Christian Pulisic didn't come back in the second half. And he's the U.S.'s number one star, so to speak. And he helped lead them to a 3-0 lead. So they pulled him. There's a lot of concern if there's something going on. The coach after the game basically said, no, it's, he got kicked in the back of the ankle. So that never helps. Or I think it was the calf. It was one. Either way, he got kicked in the back of the leg. And so that can sometimes cause, obviously, muscle tightness, discomfort, as everybody knows, who's ever had like a Charlie horse or something like that. But they didn't say that was it. They just said he just felt a little off, so they just held him off in hopes that it's nothing. Yeah. So we need him.
He's an uncommon.
Yeah, we definitely need him because when he was gone, the whole second half, we scored and we won 4-1, but we weren't attacking as well as we were with him. So it nothing to be too concerned about. Hopefully, our next game's against Australia on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it should be an interesting World Cup. So I wish we could have shared more with you guys. We could talk about it again, but I feel like we're just rehashing it. It's lost its point.
Yeah, it's lost. And the only thing that I brought up was I've just been really cool seeing other, visitors. Your opinion of the U.S. has been very, very positive overall. With food, the stadiums, and just the overall experience has been, or just actually the overall experience of being in the U.S. They're seeing a lot more in a very positive light, which is very, very cool to see.
Right. Completely agree.
And then we talked about finals, NBA finals.
Yeah, I was going to go to that. And basically, we were just kind of talking about the failure of the Spurs in the last game. And one thing I did want to touch base, and we'll jump into that real quick, is with tonight being Game 5, is that they talk about the one thing I think the Spurs struggled with in Game 4 at the end was they don't have that one player who's a closer.
Right.
And by that meaning, they proved that they're young. They're a young team. Everybody knows that. But being that young, they lack the experience or the understanding of what to do in a tight situation when it's all falling apart, how to control it, which they didn't do well at all. But I don't think they have anybody on the team that can do that. Like, I know Wemby's 22, but, if he's capable of just scoring, like they always say with Kevin Durant, he can just get buckets. Yeah, but he still needs, a Steph to help him win a title because he helped close it. And they have none of that right now. So I don't see them winning tonight. If they do, it's just because their home field, home court edge helped them get over the hump. But yeah, I don't see the Knicks losing the series at all, but I also don't see the Knicks losing tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. It's like the Cleveland game, the final game of that series where they won by 30. Just blow them out because they just gave up.
I don't see the Knicks as being fazed by the opponent's fans. I just don't. The Knicks. First of all, Brunson. I love him as a player.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the closer for the Knicks, it's he wants that. He took that shot and the OG Tippin was a fucking phenomenal play. That was just amazing play by him. I mean, he came in. He was the one who inbounded the pass, and he tipped it. So, and again, I think the one thing is we did talk about the collapse of the Spurs as a whole. Like there is not one player, one play that did it. And people want to focus on that, but it was the Spurs as a whole, coaching all the way down to every single player on the court. But you got to give credit to the Knicks. And I think you were doing that. It was they just keep playing. When they're down by 30, they, like you said, let's get it down to 25. Let's get it down to 20. And they just kept on pressing and playing their game. So, I mean, you got to give as much credit. You got to give as much credit, actually probably more credit to the Knicks than you do, I think the Spurs collapsing, even though I think the Spurs played dumb. And that's the whole second half. You got to give the Knicks credit because if they didn't play as smart as they did and keep grinding, they wouldn't be able to, no matter how dumb the Spurs were, if they played just as dumb, they would have lost by 10 or 20.
Yep.
Still.
Yeah. Agreed. And again, like we talked about before, the first half was just lights out by San Antonio. The second half was everything was just banking and not hitting it. They couldn't hit a damn thing. I mean, a lot of it, to your point, was just they don't know how to slow down. They just were just playing the same game even when they were failing, which made no sense when you're up by 30. So, but yeah, I think tonight will be interesting. I think to your point about Brunson, interesting enough, the one game they lost, a couple of things happened. One, the president was there, so it changed the dynamic of the whole security concept and what they could do.
Yeah.
It doesn't change how the players play, but from everything else. And then, but really, I think the biggest problem was, and you mentioned Brunson, who I like a lot too. I really do. I think he's a great player, but he got into a pattern in that game that was hurting the team. Too many times as the point guard, he was bringing the ball up and never looking to pass. He just kept trying to drive him and come out, drive and try to come out, and just force passes. And that's why he didn't do that as much the next game. He went back to more of like, yes, there'd be times he'd do it a couple times, but most of the time he was looking to move the ball, then get it in a spot, then attack.
Right.
When he plays like that, he's better. His shots are still below 50% overall. Like he's still putting, and almost every star on a team will take the most shots. That's a given. Like even Wemby had 25 shots, just like Brunson did in the last game. Both had 25. Right. Brunson hit 3 more shots. That's it. So, and they had their 30 points, and it's great. Or actually, Wemby didn't have 30 points. I take that back.
Right.
But we'll see. I expect the Knicks should win tonight, and then we'll see what happens. Now tomorrow night's an important game as well, because tomorrow is the Stanley Cup Finals, and it came back to Vegas, and now the Knights are down 3-2 after losing the last 2 games in a row. Pretty poorly, actually. I don't know what happened. Maybe they finally ran out of steam. Hopefully not, because they are a team that's throughout the season had struggled. We also lost one of our players again. I don't know for how long. Hopefully it was just for the rest of that game. Carlson, who got injured, but I'm a little concerned there. And I know you watch hockey religiously like never, so I'm not really asking much for your thoughts here. I'm just bringing it up.
I appreciate the context. I totally forgot about the Stanley Cup. With the World Cup. Hey, with World Cup and NBA Finals, it's just I've seen it though. I do know that they lost. That's all I knew. I knew that.
Yeah, so that's Sunday night. I'm hopeful the Knights pull it off and push it to a Game 7, and then we'll just see what happens from there. That's what I'm hoping. Well, that's what we need to do if we want to have a chance for the Stanley Cup. Gotta push it to Game 7.
Okay, you're hoping, but what do you think is?
I think we'll win this one. Actually, I think we will. I think there've been a couple mistakes that have been made, or just we haven't put as much pressure as we have throughout most of the Stanley Cup run. I don't know what's going on. Just seems like, and there were a lot of unlucky incidents too. Mm-hmm. There was a shot that just was perfectly placed, and it's just nicked the side of the post and didn't go in. So, I mean, things like that, and it happens to both teams generally, but even more so. All the Knights were just unfortunate, and if that's going to be the continued case, and there's not much they can do, they'll lose. But I think we'll win. I feel good. I think I need to know about what's going on with Carlson. I don't think I've heard anything on that. I'll have to check on that one. But yeah, I still think the Knights have a chance because of just how they play. They can win it. But it's always tough when you're down 3-2. So, and like they said, whoever won Game 5 70% of the time we're going to win it all. And I think at 70% is like, that's really not that high, actually. Because it's, from a perspective, if they said it was 90%, I'm like, we're screwed.
And it's different, yeah.
But 70 is not as high.
Yeah.
So you're just as close to 50% as you are 90% at that point.
True. At the glass full type attitude you got there. I like that.
Chances are just as good either way. So,
and I'm sure the other fans are saying the opposite, but
Well, yeah, Carolina fans are all excited. They're hoping they'll win it and then get the cup tomorrow night. So,
yeah,
we'll see. All right, let's talk about some other news that went on this week. And I don't know if you paid attention. You see, SpaceX went public.
Yep,
$2 trillion valuation, basically. Yeah. So let me ask you about that. And I understand it's just get the valuation because of what they've done to date. But what's really the long-term value of that company? Like, what is it really providing other than a very limited and specific area of focus?
I think the thing that people forget is, valuation of the company in today's era is not the same as it was 20 years ago. I mean, you have the idea that anybody can buy stock today.
Yes. Anyway, yep.
One of my accounts is in SoFi, and I can put $20 into my investment account and buy $20 worth of, because you can get fractional stock through SoFi.
Right.
So I can buy and sell stock for free, and I can do it fractionally. So I can buy, traditionally like Berkshire Hathaway, you couldn't buy it because it was $20,000 a share or some insane amount. I don't remember how much. I'm just kind of making that up. But it was some insane amount. But now that you can buy fractional, and people are buying it not because of reality, but because of perception. So when you talk about valuation of a company or the stock, it's purely on public perception. So the whole idea of valuation being anything to do with how much they produce or anything of that. I mean, look at Tesla. I mean, you want to lump, it's another Elon company, but, Toyota still does, outperforms them across the board. Yet the valuation, I think, for Tesla is more than Toyota, if I remember correctly. So I think
probably just because Toyota is a long-standing company.
But I mean, that means that goes into the perception of the public who's buying and selling stock, because it's not just a select amount of people who, for not saying that they were always educated, but I'm just saying, traditionally more educated or more in tune with looking at what is the true valuation of the company. I think that it's irrelevant now.
Right.
Because people are only buying it based upon their feeling like, I want to own a piece of SpaceX. And now, because you can easily do it, because it's just accessible. So, I mean, the whole idea that Elon is now is the first trillionaire in the world. But I mean, again, we all know that he's not Scrooge McDuck. He doesn't have $1 trillion of gold.
We know that. Many people don't. They still think they hear it. And the way the news reports it is the richest person in the world now, 1 trillion, is Elon Musk. It's like, no. The highest valued person in the world right now, based on assets and everything they have access to, if they could sell it all, would be $1 trillion.
Which, if he sold all of the stock, just like, it
would tank the market. It wouldn't even be worth that.
Market.
Yeah.
It would destroy the market.
Yeah. And they don't allow it anyway. You can't sell it all at one time, generally, with any company.
And look at it this way. I mean, the other thing people don't think about, like, we all know that a billionaire, they can leverage their assets and, get these loans and everything. Do you really think there's a difference between a billionaire and what a billionaire can get and what Elon can get? I mean, I really think that gap of when you get to that level is, again, his purchasing power or what he can do isn't really probably any greater than it was before.
Yeah.
To your point,
I agree.
And he can't sell the stock. He can't realize the money yet. He can still just borrow, but he had unlimited borrowing ability before this. I don't think any of that has changed.
No, he'll continue. Now he'll just leverage the value of SpaceX even more to buy other stuff. That's all. Right. So, I mean, but I guess, I always kind of find this, and I've always found the stock market humorous because it's so emotionally driven. in many cases, which is why you see the up and downs, which make no sense whatsoever. It's just emotionally driven. Someone freaks out and others freak out because somehow they think they need to freak out, which just shows people don't logically understand truly what they're buying into. They're just buying based on names, to your point, or what they've heard, and people tell them, "Oh, get this." Yeah, like that one in particular, like SpaceX for me, when it said $2 trillion valuation, I'm like, for what? It's just a rocket that's very limited. I mean, I know SpaceX is doing a little bit more than that.
It's important. No. With the
but
stuff
from a scale, from a human scale standpoint, like NVIDIA, all the chips they make, that's why their valuation is so high. They're pretty much in everywhere.
Right.
Oil everywhere. Like all these things are used everywhere. So there's consumption need to drive the value up. There isn't a consumption need because SpaceX does have competitors. And that just blew my mind. But I wasn't surprised by it. I knew it was going to come in probably over $1 trillion just based on feeling. But yeah, it's humorous. So I just find the stock market funny in general on how it acts.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's totally inflated. I mean, it's totally just there's no reason for that valuation. I mean, it's not accurate in my opinion. Again, what the actual dollar amount is, I have no clue. I haven't looked into it enough. But I think everything that you've seen with analysis, it's like I think people are talking like not even a tenth of what the valuation is.
Right.
Like so, the actual value of it. But again, like I said, because the reality is they put out stock and people think that stock value is just what people perceive the value is. Right. And now that you have people who are uneducated or not really having a great background on the financial aspects of a company, they can buy stock and artificially raise it. So
yep. Yeah. All right. Let's move on from the stock market. Let's talk about summer movies. Now, you were interested in Masters of the Universe. Did you go see it?
No, I didn't, and I haven't.
Do you have any plans to?
Not anymore.
Oh, so you've heard from people. You didn't wait for yourself to make an educated decision. You're basing off other people's feelings. Stock market, basically.
It wasn't so much that. It's like I think nowadays we're way more selective on when we go to the theater than we have in the past, which I hate. Because that was like one of the things our family did. We especially like when Harry Potter movies or
well, let's be honest though. Let's preface it by saying there was no streaming at the time.
Yeah.
So the concept of them going to a streaming service within like 2 months, that makes you feel like, I'll just wait for streaming, versus it only comes out on DVD and you'd have to buy the DVD. So
yeah, I mean, but I dislike the fact that we don't go see movies as much as we used to. And so I think a lot of times I do wait to see what the general consensus is, and not saying again, it's not saying I'm not going to watch it, but to your point, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming or find some download of it or whatever.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, I think when you look at most of the audience view of most movies, for the most part, it's much it's been pretty accurate about how I react to it. So because it was a little bit disappointing, it just didn't hit. I'm like, yeah, okay. Now the one movie I do want to see is The Furious. It's a Hong Kong based movie. There's just been a lot of hype from it. It's from last year and it's finally being released in the US. And if you take a look at it, it's basically a guy's daughter gets kidnapped, and then it's his way, he's trying to get his daughter back, and it's just ultra violent. Like I used to go watch.
So it's Hong Kong version of Taken.
Yeah, but if you've ever watched Hong Kong based action.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for those who don't understand Hong Kong movies, this is basically a good representation of what it's like in that sense.
The fight scenes are always ultra violent.
Yeah, of course.
Which is awesome. Which is always like drawn. So that is one movie that everybody that has seen it, like it's just the audience scores for it have just been through the roof. So that might be the one that I do go see for my maybe one or two, the one or two movies I go to see in the theater now, in the summer, which is sad.
I think for the summer, like I didn't go see Mandalorian Grogu, and I'm in no rush. And we have a cruise on a Disney cruise coming up for 4th of July for our 30th anniversary. So they'll show some of those movies on the ship. So we'll probably catch like The Mandalorian and Grogu there. But for the summer, I mean, Supergirl is one I'm interested in, just because Lobo's in it.
Yeah,
and I'm curious, but I'm not like pre-buying tickets. Like there's movies I'll usually pre-buy tickets that, but to your point, I don't go to movies as much as I used to, primarily because either I just don't want to deal with the moviegoers nowadays who are on the phones all the time, and theaters have done a better job of trying to eliminate some of that. So it's not the main reason. I can go at earlier times when they're all sleeping and still catch it like a 9 a.m. matinee movie, and it's fine. Right. But yeah, it's just like it doesn't scream to me to go. Like I'm definitely going to go see Avengers Doomsday later this year in theaters.
Oh no, for us it's Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man, I was going to say, is the other one, which is a summer movie, so that'll be coming out in July, and I'll definitely see that one.
But I don't have a choice on that one.
What? You do. You always have a choice. Stop it.
No, I don't.
You can say no. You can say no.
True, I could.
Toy Story 5 actually looks interesting, but I'm not going to go see it.
Neither am I.
Because I can't. I've seen all 4 in the theater, and the fourth one was a bit of a disappointment. Seemed so unnecessary.
It seemed 100%.
Yeah.
This is interesting. The concept seems interesting.
Yeah, this 5th one looks interesting. It's more about Jesse, which is fine, and it's more about the digital world now, making kids no longer play with toys. That I do find interesting because it's a more relevant conversation.
Right.
To see, because you always knew the toys were still around. Well, it's always nice to see what the hell happens if toys are no longer played with, which is kind of what 4 was about, but it didn't just pan well.
Yeah, the execution of 4 was bad.
Although Keanu Reeves was it Captain Kaboom?
Yeah.
The evil Knievel wannabe was just fantastic. That was awesome. But
overall, the movie was disappointing. It was so unnecessary.
Correct.
But 5 does, but I'm not going to say and my oldest, as you know, was just a Toy Story fanatic growing up. We wore out VHS tapes and everything like that, but he doesn't even seem hyped to see it. Like I said, I think Spider-Man is really the only one that is, no matter what, for my family, we are 100% going to see.
Right. And then, of course, Dune, if you watch the first 2 movies, they're such epic movies. It'd be cool to see it. It's not one I'm guaranteeing I'll probably go see in the theater, but I would really like to on IMAX just because it's so massive.
The visuals have been incredible. I mean, whether the story is what it is, but I think the visuals has been by far amazing.
Exactly. And that's been the cool part about that. It's just been the visuals. I mean, the stories are still not consistent with the book, which is fine. You got to get past that sort of things, I guess. But as far as, other movies coming out this year, I mean, I can't really think about like what are some others that are coming out that would be worthwhile. I mean, Odyssey, I don't care for that.
No.
And I like his movies, but I just don't care for Christopher Nolan's version of the Odyssey from what I'm seeing so far. Like he just doesn't care now. And
he's taking too many liberties.
Way too many for this one, which is not, when he makes more original stuff, he's great. Oh, but even Oppenheimer was based on history. Now, you can say the Odyssey is based on a book, so it's fine. But when books are very specific, it's hard to say, why are you doing it? And where the time period is and the people. I will say one other that's coming out that I'm remembering now, and I'm using my crack staff team to figure out what movies are coming up, is Shrek 5. Shrek 5, I believe, is supposed to come out this summer, I believe.
Really? I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Shrek 5. I don't think they gave a date specifically yet, so it's possible it could still slip. But Shrek 5, that'll be fun.
That would be, I'd probably go see that in the theater.
Yeah, exactly.
If we decide to.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, other than that, that's it. Like, I can't think of anything. I'm sure there'll be some movies that'll pop up. Scary Movie 6 just came out. That one.
I'll wait to streaming on that one.
I'll wait for it too, but I do want to see it.
I do want to see it. I'm just not going to. I'm not. And for me, it's not even the price of going in. I mean, I think I'm fine with the cost going. To me, going in there, getting the hot dog and nachos and everything, even though it's going to cost us
right
money, it's part of the experience while we're going. But yeah, I want to see Scream. I'm just not gonna put the time investment and the dollar investment to go see it in the theater.
Yeah. Let me throw this one at you. Disclosure Day came out this weekend. This Steven Spielberg movie. What are your thoughts on that one? I don't know if you've seen anything on it, but
I don't know. I didn't even know about it until just recently. I was seeing clips with Spielberg and God, I'm forgetting who was in these promotional clips with him.
Oh, Emily Blunt's in it.
Yeah. But that's all I've seen. I didn't know about the movie.
Yeah, neither did I until recently. I agree.
So it wasn't just me. But these promotional ones don't even say anything about the movie. It's Spielberg and Emily Blunt, and I'm like,
right.
I have no idea what it's for or what the context is.
I mean, Colin Firth in it as well, and I think like Josh O'Connor, who, if you watched the Crown on Netflix, at one point on the second roundabout, he was Prince Charles. But anyway, he's a good actor. I like him too.
But
what's that?
What's the movie? Do you know what the movie's even about?
It's aliens, right? Disclosure Day. The aliens are going to finally come out to the people, is what my understanding is.
Oh.
And apparently it's about. Some people were saying, is this actually a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind? But no, I don't think Spielberg said that at all. I think that's all speculation, like anything. You know, people were trying to say, "Oh, let's get a sense," but it just comes out this week, so I'll be curious to see how people react to it. And then, yeah, I mean, there's the Social Network Part 2 comes out. What is it called? Social Reckoning. They just dropped trailer for that one.
Yeah, but I heard that what's his name isn't playing Zuckerberg.
No, he didn't come back for it. Instead, they had what's his name from oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. Jeremy Strong is the actor. I'm forgetting. Yeah, so Jeremy Strong, but I'm trying to remember the show he was on HBO, which is a fantastic series that he was in. And why am I forgetting it? Anyway, it's basically like a similar to like the Murdoch's history of the family.
Right.
Anyway, so that's another one coming out later this year. Same with the Hunger Games. They have a prequel coming out, I think, this year. So for those who love the Hunger Games, there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Then those are the bulk of the big name movies. I'm sure there's others people are anticipating, but yeah, I guess to my point and your point, there isn't a lot for me to go running out to, or I'm not as eager to go out for these.
Not as eager. Yeah, I think the only one that's a must one for us is Spider-Man, but so we'll see.
Yeah.
So actually, that is a good question. What summer plans do you have aside from you brought up your 30th anniversary cruise? Is there any other summer plans you have, or just that one?
That's pretty much it. I mean, this summer we have weddings coming up, or a wedding coming up, actually next weekend when I go to the World Cup. So I guess that starts my summer off.
True.
Then we have our trip, and then that's it. Nothing else planned for the year.
Yeah.
How about you? Any trips during the summer?
We are actually, for the first time, and it's kind of ironic because we've in the past always gone to Las Vegas for 4th of July. And this year is the 250th anniversary of the U.S. And we're actually decided to go to Anime Expo we're going to Anime Expo in L.A. during the 4th of July.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, so that weekend we'll actually be at Anime Expo in L.A. for the whole weekend. So
nice.
That'll be a cool thing. So we're actually going. Not only is my whole house going, but also one of my oldest sons, one of his oldest friends. Like he's been probably best friends with, or at least close to best friends since kindergarten. So we went to not only elementary school but high school and college together. So he's probably going to join us, and also my oldest niece may join us as well.
Nice. Okay.
So that'll be cool. And then later in the summer, we have a small, quick trip to go see BTS in LA. So that's just me, my wife, and my sister-in-law. So that'll be kind of a little weekend trip.
There you go. You little diehards. Fantastic. Just keep spending money to go see them over and over again. Well, hey, people have their vices. There you go. There's one.
That's hers. Well, and the thing is, these companies are not very good when it comes to. Well, they had to lose a shit ton of money because they always sell out of merchandise. And the big one they constantly were selling out of by like 9 a.m. the day of the concert were these hoodies.
Oh, right. We mentioned that before.
No,
yep.
it was jerseys. It was jerseys. So we're going to try to get there like at 5 a.m. and have my wife and sister-in-law camp out from 5 a.m. to try to finally get these jerseys.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Cool.
But it'll be interesting because they have their tickets are for Sunday, but we're going to try to get like last second tickets for the Saturday. Like,
okay.
Either like, on StubHub when somebody doesn't sell them, because all these tickets are going for thousands. So we'll see.
Nice.
But also, I'm just their driver, and then I can go to places in LA and get food. So
there you go. That's all that matters.
I
exactly.
Get paid food.
There you go. Exactly. Nice. All right. I think we need to now break for that time again. We'll do this week in history, 80s quiz. Let's see if Len gets it. All right, Len, you ready? It's another one. I just said it's this week in 80s history quiz. I'm already giving you hints. Not much, just telling you the decade it's in. So maybe this will help you, maybe it won't. All right. Yeah, exactly. So back on, actually, this week, not today, because I didn't want to do just today, but this week. Back on June 8th, 1984, 2 now classic movies opened on the same day.
84.
So I'll give you the hints and you'll get them both. But one had
Future.
proton packs. The other had Q Creature You Should Never Feed After Midnight.
Ghostbusters and Gremlins.
Yeah. Both were released on the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been... Who won the
I saw both in the theater. See, back then, we went to all of them. So, yeah. I think I went during the summer. I was probably up at my cousin's, and one of them was working at the movie theater, so they got us in for one of them. But, yeah. There you go. Think about that. Two unique stories, which I'm surprised they've never tried to remake Gremlins, by the way.
Actually, yeah.
Because that's...
story. It's a fun, easy story to do. It kind of transcends the decade. So, yeah.
But there were so many holes in the rules. So many holes in the rules for the Gremlins one.
Of course.
Don't feed them after midnight. So never feed them again, so they'll die?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, is there between midnight and 5 a.m., like, more specific?
Yeah. That's what it should have been said, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, right after midnight, so 12:02 is fine?
Correct, right? Like, when can I feed them again, then?
Yeah.
Like, how about don't feed them after sunset? That would have been easier. Then you could say, okay, sunrise, you can feed them.
Right.
Anyway, all right, moving on. So back on June 11th of 82.
82.
Yeah.
That's
Spielberg's movie opened up. And it included...
E.T.?
There you go. Yeah, I was just going to say, it made everyone want a Reese's Pieces eating alien friend, which was E.T.
Yeah. I didn't... Yeah, I was thinking Close Encounters was 70s, if I remember right.
Correct. You're right. Yeah. You remember seeing E.T. in the theaters? Or did you?
I did not see E.T. in the theaters.
Yeah, I went with my grandmother. My mom took the two of them, took the three of us, my two sisters. And we went and saw it. I think we saw it.
No, I did, but it wasn't. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, finish my thought. We went and saw it in the theater in Venice. Back then, they were a couple of them. I think, what were they called? I'm trying to remember the name of them. I'm forgetting the names. Like the Regency 1 and 2, maybe that was them. But they were off of Van Ness, downtown San Francisco. So we went there, I think, after we got my grandmother off work that night and went to see the movie. But yeah, I remember seeing it. I loved it.
I saw it.
Good movie.
It's one of those Gen X memories was dollar theaters. So what I meant to, and I wanted to clarify because I was thinking I didn't see it when it was first came out, but before streaming, before
VHS, you mean?
Before VHS, no, streaming or VHS, we had dollar theaters. So I remember there was two of them for us. There was Sarah 6 in Daly City, and then Tanforan and San Bruno that you could go see movies.
At certain times of the day. Yeah, certain times of the day it was $1. Yeah. Which is no different than matinee costs today. It's just much cheaper back then. Yeah.
It was just a different concept. But yeah, I remember those were the ones where they never got the first release.
Right.
But it was usually like about maybe a month and a half, depending upon how well it was doing, it would get put in those theaters, which, it was just a lot cheaper.
Right.
So we also had the Seaview in Pacifica. That was, by where we grew up. But that was definitely always the older run movies.
Right. Well, and that one was originally new movie runs. And I remember seeing, I remember seeing a lot of them. But every Saturday night or something, once a month, they do the Rocky Horror Picture Show where they'd show it and people would reenact that there.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, I'm forgetting the name of it. Tales from the Crypt. I saw that there too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So back to the questions real quick. Let's go to another one. So on June 9th of 1980, this legendary comedian suffered severe burns, an incident that later became part of his comeback story and stand-up material. Do you know who this comedian was?
I got distracted. I thought of Michael Jackson to begin with.
The burning, yeah, because of the Pepsi commercial. But
yeah,
no.
That's what popped in my head.
He was in movies like The Toy, Brewster's Millions.
Was that Richard Pryor?
There we go. Yeah, Richard Pryor. Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say Harlem Nights next in case you didn't get it. But yeah. Richard Pryor. Yeah, he got burnt. Severe burns, actually, in an incident. Yeah. So
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about it too. Okay, June 12th. So today's the 13th. So yesterday. This one's easy, but what was the first movie, Steven Spielberg adventure movie introduced to audiences to Indiana Jones?
Right. Well, so what's the question?
What was the movie that Steven Spielberg basically introduced to audiences the character Indiana Jones? What was the name of the movie that came out?
Raiders of the Lost
Ark. Back in 81. There we go. Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah, that clue was just a little too, I'm like, what am I missing?
Yeah, exactly. All right, a couple more.
Easy. All right.
June 12th, 87. What Arnold Schwarzenegger sci-fi movie hit theaters and gave us the line, "Get to the chopper"?
Get to the chopper. Which one was
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, but
what movie was that from?
87.
This is actually pretty disappointing. This is pretty disappointing right now.
Because
you really suck.
They all blend into each other.
It's not Aliens, but it's
no. I don't want to say Predator. Was it Predator?
I literally just said it's not Aliens. It's and you're like, no, it's not Predator. Okay. No, it is Predator. How about this? Can you name even one other actor in that movie?
In which movie?
Predator. Do you even remember the movie at this point? I'm starting to question if you even remember the movie.
No, that was Jesse the Body Ventura. There is, his name? Apollo Creed. What's his real name?
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. And I don't know if I really remember any other names.
It's pretty sad. All right.
No, get to the top. No, stop. Okay, I don't remember.
All right. It's fine. How about this? Okay. This is music for the 80s. I'm going to give you a little bit of a music question here. All right.
You're not going to tell me what the name of the movie is?
For which one?
For the Get to the Chopper.
It's Predator, dude.
Oh, it was Predator. Okay.
I said it was Predator. Jesus Christ. Why don't you re-listen to this episode later and see how it was said to you?
No.
Here we go. 80s music. You ready? In 1985, in June, what Tears for Fears song was number one on the Billboard's Hot 100? I don't even know if you're a Tears for Fears fan, but we're going to take a chance here.
No, I know the song. I can hear the melody in my head. Is it Rule the World? Or whatever?
Everybody wants to rule the world. I'll give it to you. Yes, good job. Good job. Way to go. Way to just pull it out of nowhere. I
legitimately don't know the name. I know the song. I legitimately was like, what is that? I legitimately don't know the name.
Well, and the other big song during that year in that album was Shout.
Right.
All right. And then let's just do one last horror movie for you. It's a classic 1980 horror movie. It's called Friday the 13th. True or false? The movie itself is set on June 13th.
No, false.
It's true. It actually was set on June 13th. It was the date and within the movie itself for Friday the 13th. Now,
I was never into horror movies, so.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you, do you know what is the name of the camp in that movie?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Camp Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake, okay.
Yeah. All right. There you go. There's our weekly, not as exciting, definitely not as successful quiz with Len.
Overall, I was successful. Fuck off.
I'd say 50-50. So if 50-50 is successful for you, which is maybe just borderline D-, then you're good. Still passing.
Wait. How many did I miss?
You missed a couple. I mean, I can't remember. It's not like I'm tallying stuff, dude. It's fine. You did fine. Okay. How about that? You feel better about yourself?
No, especially not. So I actually had a question for you. I was just thinking about it after watching the Knicks kind of come back, and there's also the new documentary of the 2016 Cavs win. I don't know if you've seen a lot of those trailers, like they're talking about.
I don't think anybody's seen trailers of that who isn't somehow being targeted as a Cavs fan. Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about this at all. Who's showing it? Where's it on? What's
no. It's I don't know who's servers, and I want to say is Jefferson's podcast. I think no. I'm just saying I've just been seeing.
Your former Cap player. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just the 10-year anniversary, and also a lot of the Caps players for that has been at the finals. So, but anyway,
so no, I have not.
What are your top 3 sports moments in your life? Like, it doesn't have to be for your favorite team or whatever, but like the most memorable
ones for me.
The ones that you like remember 100%, like it was yesterday.
The catch, first and foremost. I remember watching that. The catch, Dwight Clark. That is huge. That will always be one. You ever ask me top moments? That one always pops to my mind immediately. Like, there's no doubt. So right. I would say that's my number 1. Period. Other great top moments, memorable moments that popped to my mind. It's funny. I mean, nothing legitimately, truly stands out heavily for me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many.
What stands out is the I'm not sure what the name was, but the drive, like 49ers against the Bengals.
It's a memorable moment, but I'm trying to think of like what comes to my mind immediately. And nothing. If it's that memorable, then it should be like easy for me to say, "Oh, this, and this," and nothing's really. Maybe this comes back to my point that we didn't get to talk to because we weren't recording. It was my lack of emotional attachment, like others when they cry for these things. But, another memorable moment for me actually that just popped in my head. Again, it's Niner related, and specifically Montana. Right. It's because we went to this. It was a Monday night game between the Rams. And Montana hit, I think 2 90-yard touchdowns. John Taylor got that game. And we were there in attendance in LA when that game was going on. So that's huge from that standpoint for me as well.
I think the biggest negative one I remember was us going to a Giants game and Oral Hershiser just destroying the Giants.
Oh, my God. I forget about that, but you always bring it up. So
I always bring
it up. And then I remember, I'm like,
God,
that did suck. We were stuck. We couldn't leave. Although we moved all the way down to the third base seats.
Yeah.
Which is nice because no one was there.
We take the bus, and so we had to wait to the end of the game.
There's only like 10,000 or less people in attendance. This is when the Giants were bad.
Mm-hmm. And he just didn't destroy the Giants pitching wise. He did it hitting as well. I think.
He hit a home run. That would sucked. That was horrible. Good reminder there. Thanks.
I would say the one that like stands out to me the most in terms of memory that's not related to one of my teams was the Patriots Super Bowl against Atlanta. They come back. There was because like it was just one of those things where you're watching it and everything had to go right for that one. I mean, like kind of like how we talked about like for the Knicks this comeback, but that Super Bowl was just one of those ones that still sticks out in terms of like I remember very clearly how it went. I remember our conversations. I remember, my son Ben had asked, like, what I think that the Patriots can come back, and I said, I said something about the Browns winning the Super Bowl or something like that about his likelihood as the Browns win the Super Bowl next year, and then they of course come back to win. So there's little moments like that. I think as much to do with the the dynamic at home that we had during that game than it actually had to do with the game. But that one always sticks out, just how it happened.
Yeah. I would say one other memorable moment, and only because it's more recent probably that I can remember. I'm starting to really be worried about my memory, but that's fine. That's for a different discussion. Is that I rewatch more often than I probably think I do. Is when Steph and the Olympic team went to semifinals and the finals, his flurries more specifically, and what he did. Even more so that final shot that he threw up quickly over
when he had Durant and LeBron wide open.
Yeah, but Durant had kicked it back to him, wanting him to shoot, but LeBron was wide open in the corner as well, and he jacks his shot up. That for others is just a stupid shot, as we all have talked about in the past, but for him, it just makes sense. He hits that, and it just ends it at that point. Like those are moments where, like I talk about, things where people get emotional. Like the chills come on that one because it's the excitement of seeing them overcome. And I've always loved Steph as a player. I think he's a fantastic player.
He's hard, yeah.
I hardly ever cheer for players. I mean, I want other players to do well, but I never really gravitate towards another player that's not generally with my team, just because I don't pay attention enough to all the other teams all the time. But Steph's that one player I've always gravitated to since he was at Davidson. Just loved the kid when he played at Davidson. Thought the Warriors got a steal when they got him, and he's obviously proven that now. But he's just. I love players who enjoy playing the sport, who just are always happy and don't let things. I mean, they'll get frustrated sometimes, but generally their attitude is always positive, just smiling, enjoying it, and having fun.
Right.
Those are the players but those are memories. That one in particular, love that Olympics. That was probably the best Olympics I've ever seen from a basketball standpoint. And I saw the Dream Team beat up teams, but it was expected, and it was fun to watch, but you also knew it versus this one where I don't know why we were losing first and foremost, but we were. And just the comebacks and just the flurry was fantastic. Because I laugh every time he jacks up a shot, suddenly comes down, just jacks one up and hits it easily. I don't know. It's just fun to watch. So,
because you expect him to make those, like the harder the difficulty, the more likely he's going to make it.
When he's only like 6'4", so I mean, most guards aren't going to be very tall, but even still, he gets big guys on him all the time, and he still can get those shots off. So
moves it over them. Yeah.
I
mean, overall, I think for me though, it'll always be the chase down block, like the biggest.
Yeah, because that's your one title. I get it. Yeah,
and I whether you love or hate LeBron or whatever, that was probably one of the single greatest athletic feats, ever. I mean, one of those ones where it was just what he did was kind of superhuman. So
also, I wouldn't go that far. Calm down. Pull it back in a little bit there, pal. Yeah. Superhuman. All he did was use his size and his ability to jump and block a shot from behind. Many players have done that in an NBA game. It's just because it was just that one game. There's nothing unique about that.
Accelerating as fast as he did to chase him down at Game 7.
Against Iguodala, who was older and wasn't going to be running that fast anyway.
Whatever. I think it's one of the greatest singles.
I don't disagree with you, dude. I'm not trying to say you're wrong because it's an emotional attachment you have to one time your team's ever won a title in Cleveland in your lifetime. When was the last time any Cleveland team won a title in your lifetime?
It doesn't matter. It happened.
No, but answer the question. Actually, I want people to hear. When was the last time a Cleveland team won a title of any kind in your existence?
2016. It doesn't matter.
So I get it. The connection's there.
And your jackasses changed the scenario because before it's like you never won a championship, never. Now you said, only one.
No. I'm justifying why you find that to be one of the fact that you said LeBron's superhuman feat was just ridiculous. You are overstating that way too much. But it's because that's the only title you've ever gotten as a fan in Cleveland. It's understandable that you would overemphasize a simple task that many players do in every game all the time. But because it was the finals, it was the last game, and it had an impact. Because Kyrie won the game, by the way. He got the shot off to win it. Let's not forget that. Everybody forgets that. Everybody forgets that.
Nobody fucking forgets that. You're just saying it because
What did you just name? What did you just name?
I didn't forget it, though. I would say the same thing. Kevin Love's defense on Steph, of all people.
Yeah, Steph was having a horrible game. I agree. Yeah.
He was. And he made sure that he didn't get a clean shot off.
Correct. Yeah.
So, no, it wasn't.
It was great. I agree with you. It's a great moment. I do agree. It's one of those memorable ones you'll have in sports that they'll bring up.
You hate it. Just admit it.
Oh, I don't really care. My team wasn't even in it. But I laugh many different reasons on many different sides, on both sides actually, for many reasons. But it's funny.
Well, especially because your sister's a diehard Warriors fan.
Well, they also won 70 games that year and couldn't win the title.
Yeah.
So they also had to come back from a 3-1 to Oklahoma City, which led to Kevin Durant coming over there. So there's a lot of stories that played out during that playoff run.
It changed the NBA landscape. That year really did.
So speaking of LeBron, real quick, since you brought him up, and I've never been a fan of him as a player. Personally, I think he's great at what he does for everything. But from a player standpoint, I've always had just disagreements with him, mainly, and I'm a Laker fan, and I still don't always find what he does exciting, even with the title he brought. But that's just more about how I like play and whatnot, and there's nothing wrong with his skills. He's a great player, obviously one of the best of all time.
Right.
But they asked him this week about GOAT, and he's like, I'll always pick me over everyone else. And I felt that's a stupid question. Like, first off, he labeled himself the king. So we already knew that going in. Like, he's a basketball ego. He plays purely just to get stats at this point now. Like, he has no chance of winning a title with the Lakers. I know that. As much as it hurts me to say that.
The idea about Austin Reeves is pretty much gone.
Only because he wants a max contract, which makes no sense. He does not deserve a max contract. So he'll be gone.
Yeah, the Nets offer, it seems like, he's totally gone.
Yeah, he'll be gone. LeBron will probably come back just because it's safe to be in LA. And he got his whole family there. I don't blame him. I wouldn't just straight up leave unless.
And Bronny's, because as soon as he's gone, Bronny's gone.
Yeah, Lakers will drop him in a heartbeat. Yeah. And they'll probably drop JJ Redick probably too. I wouldn't suspect him being around much longer. But they talked about the GOAT thing, and I read that. I'm like, why? I hate when they did. I get it. The sports world, it was maybe it was a quiet day or something. It's like just going back to LeBron and the whole GOAT thing. It doesn't matter.
Right? It's not the first time you said it, though.
It's definitely not. And to ask him again and expect a different answer was just stupid. Like, you just want to start a debate this week because you got nothing else you can talk about sports wise. So let's just go into the whole GOAT debate. And he says, always pick me. Yeah, of course you should. But plenty of players won't just pick themselves. And they're great players. They'll pick someone else because they don't want to seem arrogant. It's up for others to decide, not for them. But he decides he is the greatest of all time, period. And I always laugh at that. And that's one of the things that irritates me from a playing standpoint, because I tie that to that. Not to him personally. Sure, maybe he has an ego, but it's fine. I mean, I think, again, outside of basketball, I love what he does, community and everything else. I think he's a great human being from that standpoint. He's never done anything bad. He's a great family father and everything. But basketball-wise, I always just kind of laugh at that. So, I don't know. What was your thoughts on that?
I think the only other player that, like, in terms of who's in that discussion, like top 10 player of all time, the only other person I think who would ever say that they're the greatest, or at least heavily imply it, was like Will Chamberlain. I mean, Kobe never did. Jordan, I mean, he's famous for saying that, like, he talks about how you can't compare eras and players, and like, he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Dr. J and all that stuff, like the standing on shoulders. And he said I think the big difference in terms of why, like, what you're talking about is, one of the things I love is when Jordan would talk about that, he would say how much he would have loved to play against those guys.
Of course, he's a competitor. Yeah.
And so it's not him saying that he's the best. And his mentality. If he's on the court, he thinks he's the best player ever.
Yeah. So did Kobe. Yeah.
So did
all of them do.
But I think that's the difference when you talk about this type of stuff is Jordan's like, I don't want to say it. I fucking want to prove it. I'd want to go against the Jerry West. I'd want to go against the Kareem. I'd want to go against Dr. J. Like, all in their prime, of course. But I think that's the difference when what you're talking about is that Jordan's not going to say it. He's like, no, fuck you. I want to prove it, and I don't want to just win. I want the ball. I want to show you what I can do.
Yep.
So I think that's the big difference. But I think Chamberlain's probably the only one who would ever imply they just go, like, when you look at even Shaq with his ego, he will say, like, he'll give Kareem and I think when you talk, I think Kareem, and there's only one other player he would actually say was better than him as a center. I'm forgetting the context, but anyway, but I mean, even then, when you look at those players, You know, like, can you imagine like a Tim Duncan saying anything like that? Just
yeah. I mean, but that was my point. Like it was just something to draw a talking point because they know LeBron's never shied away from it. To your point, he's always tried to, again. He named himself the king. He bought into the chosen one bullshit. I mean, some of that was fed on him, but he's been led to his whole life to believe he is the greatest of all time from his inner staff. And so it's not surprising he's going to feel that way. His longevity alone is what keeps him getting all these stats and whatnot. But yeah, the whole point is like there is no real GOAT because everybody plays in different eras. You're playing in different eras. You're also playing, the eras are based on different understanding of the game, preparing for the game and everything else. Like today's players get all this like daily nutritions and all these other things that they do, and they're only 24/7 focused on their body. Players back in the 70s were also working other jobs. They weren't getting paid enough. Right. And so
I've always had that argument. Like if, again, taking Will Chamberlain at 12 years old and put him in at
today's programs. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, and I think the other thing that they always miss is, there is no Kobe Bryant without Dr. J. Like it's the whole thing of Dr. J did things that nobody else ever did before, and then Jordan emulated him and then added his own spin to it.
Well, yeah, every decade someone does something new. Yep.
And I think that's always missed as well. Is that you can't look at today's players in isolation. You have to understand that the game is developed and everything, and it has moved, but it's. Yeah, and then again, that's the reason why I go back to saying with Jordan, how he very clearly has said that you can't compare it. There is no such thing as a GOAT. But we know in his mind, if he's on the court, he thinks he's the best player.
Yeah, and every player from every generation who dominated will exact same thing. Like Wilt will think in his peak, no one will stop him. No Shaq will stop him. No Kareem will stop him, even though he and Kareem battled it out.
Yeah,
you know. Bill Russell, let's not forget about Bill Russell as well. Right. I mean, again, defensive presence, but he was only like 6'10". In today's center game, he's smaller by scale. He was huge. I mean, he was huge back then. He was a great player. So yeah, I find those interesting. I always laugh when that gets brought up because I'm like, it's just stupid.
But from day one, and again, being a Cavs fan, I think they televised his first game, but I remember the first game that it was available. I've seen him play since like day one.
The high school game they televised, yeah.
Oh yeah, the high school game. It's just because being a Cleveland fan, he was hyped since 16.
Well, even ESPN showed it.
I remember being on Browns forums when he was 15 and people talking about him. Like that's the first time I heard him was on Cleveland Browns forums back then. But I think my biggest thing, just final thought on my end about LeBron is, he's all about legacy. That's all he cares about. I don't think winning is only important in the context of his legacy.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's all he's ever cared about. And also being like, having these things to fall back on, like being the first billionaire sports, basketball player and that type of thing. I think that's way more important than
while playing basketball. Because Jordan's been a billionaire before he got there, close to that.
But I think that, I've always felt that for him, it's only about legacy. Where, people won't know the difference. But I think with Jordan didn't care about legacy; he cared about only winning, and that's to him. And I think there's a big difference. I think all these other things that LeBron gets, how he's perceived and everything, is what I mean. So I think it's you had like a Jordan and a Bryant who had just a singular focus. They didn't care about anything other than winning.
Well, and his career choices, to your point, have not helped people feel differently. Every team he's gone to, he's tried to build up with stars, and he's traveled to multiple teams. I mean, he's gone to Cleveland twice, Miami, and Lakers, right? So 4 teams.
And he's even addressed that. He doesn't think that is relevant anymore.
Which is why it's wrong. I mean, then Kevin Durant, he'll be a great player, but he'll always be a player who only got titles because of Steph. Because he's gone to 4 different teams, 5 actually, and he's never won a title other than when he was with Steph. Yeah. So, and Steph's staying his whole career more than likely in Golden State. So, and it's rare, I agree. But when you're superstars, generally you want to stay with the organization for a lifetime. Kobe did. Many do, but it's harder. I get it.
I think it's harder now. I think Steph doing it is actually pretty rare at this point. At this point in the game, it was not as rare before, but I think today it's
getting rare. I agree. Yeah. All right.
Hey.
Well, hope everybody enjoyed today's show. We may not be back next week because I'll be traveling. So if not, we'll be back the week after. Everybody have a great week, and we will be back soon. Thanks again.
Yeah.